Quick disclaimer about this week's episode. We had some technical difficulties with the audio and we tried enhancing it with an AI software. And there's a few parts where Lindsay and I are both kind of talking over one another where the AI throws it off a bit. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, but we just wanted to make you aware. And sorry about the weird audio. Okay, bye.
Welcome to the Practically Imperfect podcast. I'm Linzie.
I'm Orson.
Orson, how was your week?
This week was honestly really good.
I know.
Okay, so for me at least, it was like so many great things are happening. But at the same time, like in my mind, it was a weird week for me.
Yeah.
So amazing things happening, but weird for me at least. So let me explain at least why a little bit.
Yes.
So for anyone that knows me, they will understand that I was really into, right now, my future self concept and trying to be my future self and my current reality. And with that work that I've been doing on myself, like the last few weeks, I feel like I've really been able to live in that energy and live as my future self, my current reality, and it's been fun, and I'm really excited about a bunch of things, and I have energy, and yeah, you get what I'm saying there. And so I was living in my future self the last few weeks, and this week I was just really in my head about a lot of things, and I was just worried about my future, and I think it really comes down to us being impatient, because like things were happening, but what I was doing wrong was thinking it would have happened bigger or it would be happening faster, even though it's still happening. It's just, I think I was finding myself just being impatient because it wasn't happening as fast as I wanted it to, which put me in this weird mindset.
You're being a little bit vague. What's been happening?
Yeah, so I was going to get to that, where I was trying to explain kind of why it was the weird part for me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it was weird. But the things that have been happening that are really exciting, yes, is so like I'm just super jazzed up about my current job.
Yes.
And the learning and the growth that's happening with that. And then I also brought on 2 more clients for like more freelance type work for myself. And that is really exciting because it is going to allow us to help pay off a bunch of debt that we accrued over the season of life where we had like no money, we were borrowing money, and we couldn't afford groceries, and
Made a really dumb decision.
we like accrued. I think it was like, so just for specifics for anyone else out there that is going through it,
Going through it meaning like
your finances.
Just
reasoning can't category every kind just right.
Yeah.
And we'll go more in depth about like kind of what that season of life was for us here
next week.
Oh, next week. Okay, yeah. So that'll be a heavy episode, but we accrued about a little over $15,000 worth of debt. And a lot of it was in credit cards and hospital bills from having the baby.
Yes.
So that
credit card, hospital bills, another credit card. Yeah.
And the credit card part of it was bad. It was like, I mean, we weren't, because I wasn't really making any money.
You weren't making any money.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't really making any money. No, you were making no money.
So it was bad for like a year and a half, but there was like a 6-month period where it got really, and that 6-month period was when I lost basically all of my clients.
Yep.
And so where was I going with this?
How you got more clients. So pretty much what happened.
Oh, I remember I was explaining.
Okay.
So the reason why it was $15,000 worth, and part of that was the credit card, was because I wasn't making any money during those 6 months that we were using the credit card to buy certain things because we had to live.
So horrible.
And yes,
so many people have to go through that, and I am so sorry. I know what that feels like clearly, and it's just horrible because you pay on your credit card money that you don't have, and it accrues interest over time. You also can't make any payments towards it because what money do you have?
Yeah.
And it's just horrible. It's a horrible life. I'm crying because it was just going back. It was just so horrible. And like I said, next week we will go in depth into everything. But why we bring that up is because Orson finally was able to get a job, and that.
And with you.
Yes, because
During
I'm amazing.
During that season, you were applying for
okay, that's it. That's it.
And the job that you finally.
So basically, Orson has a job now, and I work only part-time, which is also a reason why, because we had a baby, I didn't want to work full-time. Where are they going with that? Oh, yeah. So once you got your job, we were finally able to pay the bills, pay groceries. Like, we were able to just live life as normal people. But we still, like, couldn't set really any aside for credit card, medical bills, like, to make at least, like, a real change in it. Like, minimum monthly payments, newsflash, do absolutely nothing, especially with interest. Like, it just is going to take you 10 plus years to pay off your debt.
So we're moving in the right direction with all those things as far as like setting up payment plans and getting things in order to where we could like just move in that direction, but it wasn't making a dent, and it already felt, wow, this is really changing.
Yeah, no, it was just horrible. But now, said horrible, I mean, that sucks.
It sucks, but the point of the matter is like we have to move in that direction, and that's the step that we could take at that time. We're gonna take a bigger step like we wanted to, but we were making the steps that we could.
Yes. Great. And so since Orson took on 2 new clients in the span of like not even a week, that is going to allow us to make really big payments, really big chunks out of that debt. And you want to know a hack, you guys? This is like an amazing hack. You explained it because it was your idea.
You didn't even want to do it. I wanted to go more in depth.
Yeah, no, I got too scared.
So it's using ChatGPT, and you're probably familiar with the amazing things that could do, but we used it for our budgeting. I mean, budgeting for us has been something that we've like done, and I'm using quotation marks for those of you listening because we've never been like that great at it. Like,
say that, but I disagree.
But like we've never gotten super in. Like, we've always gone through. We've gone through phases where we've had money, then we lost money, and now we're starting to make it back again.
Yeah.
The season of life where we had money, we kind of did budgeting.
No, we didn't, because we didn't know what to do with all this money.
We kind of were doing it, but we're like still in the negatives a lot of the time. We still found ourselves like
overspending.
You still found ourselves like, where is this money now?
You know what's crazy looking back now is because you watch all these shows or these podcasts or TikToks. Caleb Hammer, hello, shout out, love you so much. Where these people make like 20 grand a month and they're still in debt using credit cards, spending all their money. It's just kind of like, what the heck are they doing? They make $20,000 a month. Literally us. We were making $20,000 a month, but us,
nowhere near that.
Yes, but us meaning like we make money. Why don't we have any?
Yeah.
So it's really dumb.
Yeah, I'm just grateful that because there's a lot of people out there that will make millions of dollars to lose it all, and that's what it takes for them to learn their money lesson.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we were making close to $100,000 when we had money. Again, using quotation marks for those of you listening.
And a lot of people listening are laughing at our face because that's not even a lot of money. This time.
But for us, like, we just
had a baby. We
had a house. We had people living it with us for the majority of the time that we're helping pay our mortgage because
so we just like
we had extra rooms so people would live with us. They would help us pay the rent. So we're just like living life. We bought a Mercedes Benz, and we're just like having fun with it.
Stupid.
But I'm grateful that. That's what I mean. There's a lot more lessons that we'll dive deeper into there next week. But like, I'm just grateful that we didn't make it a lot more money and then lose a lot more for us to learn this lesson. So like, really, we didn't really lose that much. It was a big hit for us, obviously,
Yes.
but we didn't have to lose a ton just to learn it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why this week has been so exciting for us. Oh, I was going to go into
The chat GPT.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for bringing me back. So the idea that I came to Lindsay with was like, let's export a. You can get your bank statements from your bank and print out a sheet of it. And so I wanted to get a PDF of our bank statements and input that bank statement into ChatGPT and have it analyze all of our spending habits and then determine exactly what our fixed expenses are and what we're spending on a monthly basis. But Lindsay doesn't like that idea because she's like, oh, that's personal information. I'm just like, but if we take out the account number and the numbers associated to the account, all that it's reading is just the spending habits. There's no personal information in there.
I got too scared. I was like, we're not sending over PDF bank statements. We are not doing that to ChatGPT. And we already have like a Google sheet of everything that has all of our our fixed, like Hulu, mortgage. We're using quotes. We have the numbers.
Because I'm using quotations because there's been so many times in the past where we're like, where is this money going? And like we've done the spreadsheet our entire marriage, but for some reason there's still been times where it's like, where's the money going?
Because we don't.
And if you're putting it into ChatGPT, it would pull everything and get super exact. There'd be no guesswork. And that's why
I didn't want to do that. So we
think it'd be a good idea.
we still like anyway. So what we did to ChatGPT is we just said, but here's our mortgage, here's our utilities, here's like, and then the rest of our like random stuff like Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
We just use a spreadsheet that we have and we said, here's our fixed monthly bills that we pay on a monthly basis. And then here's our income that we're going to be bringing in. Here's how much debt we have and kind of what makes up that debt.
Mm-hmm.
Can you create a snowball budget, which is, for those of you that don't know what that is, a snowball is where you start with the smallest amount of debt that you have, and then you pay that off as quickly as you can, and then you move on to the next biggest thing, so on and so forth. And so it's a really aggressive strategy that you're trying to implement with this. And so we're like, hey, can you give us a snowball strategy that will help us pay off this debt as quickly as possible?
Yeah.
And so it pulled the numbers that we gave it, and it basically said within 5 months you can pay off 15 grand worth of debt. And
A little bit over that, around there.
yeah, I think it was like 15,400. So
Yeah.
I was like, and that's closer to what it is. But so at first it said 6 months, and then I put more specific information, and then with that specific information it said within 5 months. And we're like, what? We can pay all this off within 5 months? And like, this is super exciting for us because when we were in that season of life accruing all this debt, we're like, oh my God, I just want to pay this off. But like, we literally couldn't. And then I got a job and they're like, oh my gosh, we just want to pay this off. But we literally couldn't. And now the fact that we have like this game plan starting in January to where it, like, this budget includes our normal life too, which is also super exciting because we budgeted for like date nights and our normal grocery spend. Like, we didn't really cut anything out.
Yeah.
And that's like incredible. And we could still like
Getting
emotional. That's like, I don't know, it's crazy. And it was
So crazy.
just because of the fact that we had this game plan.
No, it's also sad because, oh my gosh, the amount of money we could save if we didn't have this debt because of your extra income that's coming in for at least, 6 months or whatever. But that's okay. And it's a learning experience of debt, finances, especially being in your 20s. You just kind of have to live it, I feel like, just to go through it. But yeah, like he said, we'll get more in depth of how it felt, what we did, literally everything in our next episode. And the reason why I've been kind of holding off on talking about that is because of the holiday season and I was so pregnant. Speaking of being so pregnant and like the holiday season last year, it being so horrible because that's when we were, like I said, in the thick of it. last year holiday season, especially because I was about to give birth in January. So the Christmas PJs that we have on right now are onesies. And it like putting this back on, I haven't put it back on since last year. And I was just like, it took me back and it made me emotional because I was like, oh my gosh, the last time I wore this, I was so pregnant. I was so sick because just the holidays. I wasn't sick because I was pregnant. It's because, winter you get sick and I couldn't take anything because I was pregnant to get better. So I was just getting worse. That's what put me into labor early. That's neither here nor there. But I put it on and it was so weird. I've never had this feeling in my life before. I put it on and it immediately took me back to where I was miserable, if I'm being honest. We were so broke. We were getting into worse financial situations. We were about to have a baby. I was feeling sick. I was pregnant. It was horrible. And so putting this back on, it took me back to how I felt. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? And I think maybe it's because it's such a specific outfit. And I think I wore it like every day because onesies are just so easy to put on. You're pregnant. I literally had I was naked under here. It was just that's how it was. And I'm just glad that I'm putting it back on now. Not pregnant, not sick. Things are looking better. Scarlett is about to be 1 year old. It's just a more happy time, thank goodness. But it's still fresh, It was only last year. Anyway. But I love this onesie. It's so comfortable. And I just love this onesie so much.
Yeah. Man, that's gonna be interesting because and you say that, and the worst part about it too is when we got married, I was like, I always wanted to be able to support my family by doing something that I love. Got to that point, and then we started to try to have kids, and then it all fell apart.
And so we would not intentionally get pregnant. Well, we did intentionally get pregnant, but I mean we did not intentionally get pregnant and have a baby when we were broke. Just saying, we would not have chosen that. So
right when you got pregnant is when everything started to crumble, for real.
For real.
And that's when it was just serendipity. I don't know what it was. God needed to teach us some sort of lesson. Wait of Him. I know, because I always said I want to be able to support my family by doing something I love. Got to that point, and of course, when it got to that point, it all falls apart right when we're trying to make moves.
Yeah.
And it was such an interesting time of life, and which we look at from different perspectives. But
did you wear that onesie a lot last year? Did this take you back to a bad time? No.
I mean, I think more.
Actually, you know what I'm thinking about it? This is size small, and you have a size large. Maybe I wore yours.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
I think it's just because, I think I could have fit my pregnant belly in here, but I think it was just even more. So it felt loose while pregnant. So it wasn't tight at all. So I think that's why I wore yours.
That's funny.
But let's get into today's topic. Kind of a little bit. I was going to talk about finances and just America in general.
It's a pretty hot topic, and in the TikTok world especially.
Well, before we get into the topic, we need to talk about one thing that's very niche and no one will understand, I feel but we have to talk about it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Rhythm and flow. We were we have to talk about this on the podcast. So,
dude.
So if you don't know, there's a show on Netflix. It's called Rhythm and Flow. Maybe some people listening will understand because I feel maybe just no one around me. I don't hear a lot about it on social media. But it says on Netflix that it's in the top 10. So maybe people watch. I'm not sure. But this show, you guys, is so good. We loved it. Season 1 came out when we were first married in 2019. So it was a long time ago. And Rhythm and Flow is a rap competition show. So it was just so cool. The vibes were awesome. And the judges for season 1 were Cardi B. She's so funny. She's such a personality. T.I., amazing legend. And Chance the Rapper. and they were trying to, it was like an American Idol for rap. So they would do like rap battles, they would do collaborations to see how their rap would like mix in. They would do freestyle. It was just so awesome. Season 1, highly recommend, go watch that right now. Season 1, top tier. Season 2 just came out, which surprised me when I saw it on Netflix. I was like, this season 1 was 5 years ago.
It was 5 years ago?
Yes, 2019.
Holy cow.
Yes.
I
mean, we've been married for 5 years. I know.
Might as well stop on one day.
I know. So when I saw season 2, I was like, I got so excited. But there were different judges. So I just got a little bit sad because I loved the judges before. But I was like, you know what? It's still the same show. I'm still going to enjoy it, probably. And the reason why I'm going to talk about it, guys, and I'm going to spoil season 2, because you guys should not even see season 2. I'm telling you guys to watch season 1. Season 2, I'm going to spoil because you don't need to watch it anyway, to be quite honest. The judges were Ludacris, which I thought that was a good judge. DJ Khaled, I was a little bit like, okay, you're not a rapper. I'm so many so
like his.
But then Orson told me, yeah.
Yeah, he collaborates with rappers. He makes their music.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. That's
Actually, he knows what it takes to be the rapper in the booth.
He should. And then the third judge, I had no idea who she was. Her name was Lotto. I don't know who she is.
I didn't know that either.
But I guess she's a big rapper. And she was also in a different rap show back in the day. So which I was like, oh, okay, so she'll like know how these shows go. She has experience in like a competition setting. So maybe she'll like be a good judge. Basically, those judges were actually horrible. And I just had to say that, okay, let me stop talking you say, because you listen to rap more than me. Guys, I don't listen to rap. I don't know what's happening except for Eminem. I love him the most. Which Eminem was on this season. He like guest judge, which, he was so sweet. I love him so much.
He was like funny too.
I know, he's awesome. But anyway, so you can go into it more. But let's not spend too much time because it really doesn't matter. We just had to get it off our chest.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially, season 1 was so good, partially, and I'll get into it. But season 1, they went all over the country,
True,
for auditions, and they filmed that part of it. This season was only in Atlanta, and
people came to that.
there was people from LA and New York and Florida, like people from all over came and auditioned, but there's definitely a lot of Atlanta people, and the judges were from Atlanta.
Lotto and Ludacris, yeah, they're from Atlanta. So there was
DJ Khaled from?
I have no idea. I think he's from the East Coast though, so it's just already like a little bit of a bias there.
And rap, for some reason, I don't really understand it, but like where you're from is like means so much in rap.
I know.
I don't know why rep their city, and like they rep hard.
And their styles are different. I don't know. I don't get.
I get the styles. I understand just because it's like the East Coast versus the West Coast, a different vibe, and it's just different music. Where like New Orleans has like when you think of New Orleans, you think of what kind of music is
yeah, jazz.
Yeah. It's like there's different types of music, so like that part makes sense. But as far as anyways, so the judges, there was just this one guy that made it, and they were telling his story, and he's 22-year-old kid, and he's not bad. He doesn't seem like that bad. Like you're starting, you're like, okay, like yeah, he's in an audition, and maybe he'll get past like the first episode, and then maybe the second.
Literally.
And so we start watching this, and like you hear him, and you're like, what? I mean, you can't really understand what he's saying. And apparently, I mean, I don't really know this because I don't like this type of rap, but like the screaming in your face, like,
that's what it sounds like.
that is like apparently really popular, and I don't really like that. I like to be able to feel and hear a story in the person's like rapping, which is a reason to why I listen to the kind of rap I do. Anyway, so like, this kid, that's kind of how he raps. And they're like, okay, maybe he's here for a reason or whatnot. And anyway, so he makes it past the first episode and the second episode. And then on the second episode, there's this white guy that everyone was like, oh, he seems pretty good. And they eliminated him for some weird reason when he was the best. Like, it was this like group challenge. And out of his entire group, he was the best one, but they eliminated him out of his group. And I was just like, what? Why everything? There were just so many different moves that these judges made that were just like, what?
So here's the thing. I think they were judging on, okay, who has the most potential, who's coachable, and not who's the best rapper. That has to be what they were like judging on, because this 22-year-old kid that Orson's talking about, he ends up winning the whole show when that is what Orson just did. That is exactly how he raps. It was so bad. And he wins the whole thing. When people on social media that I'm seeing are like, excuse me, we don't even know how he got past the first round.
Like every single...
And I just felt so bad for the people who work. Honestly, the talent was also just not as good as the first.
There was one guy where I was like, okay, this guy makes me feel something. Like, he gave me goosebumps. Like, he's telling a story.
His name is Jay Taj. Go follow him.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked him. He made me feel something similar to D-Smoke. No, sure.
He just spoil things.
I'll say more than that if you watch the first season. But so it was just like, he made it past certain episodes, and you would watch people's reaction on TikTok and then be like, what?
I know. It was just season 2. It was just such an upset, and how Jay Taj was just so raw because he was so good. Like, his critiques, you guys would be like, it seems like I'm watching a Grammy performance. Like, you guys, you already got it. You're already a star. You're already so polished. And then they just don't crown him?
Yeah, he was clearly the best there.
I know.
And
they chose this kid who's coachable and, like, literally even coachable. I don't even know. His critiques were like, bro, you were kind of offbeat, but you'll get it next time. And then in the finale, they were like, you actually rapped on beat today. It was so weird. It was so...
Every single competition...
He's from Atlanta, so we think...
Every single competition or challenge that he did, they always had critiques for him.
Yeah.
And yes, he improved and tried to be better, but so did literally everybody else. And Jay Taj, who was second place, which is ridiculous, like Lindsay said, every single challenge she was in, you're so polished. You're already a star. You're already there.
Yeah.
And it's like,
so weird.
There was nobody more prepared to take advantage of the opportunities that winning this show would come than Jay Taj. She would have been able to really take advantage of the recording time, of the money, and put it to a career that is actually going to glow up. And this 22,
his name is Dre TL.
And Jay Taj, I'm gonna go back to him for a second. He was 32 years old. He was very he's lived life, and he was much more humble, prepared, and just mature.
Yeah, because everybody else was in like their 20s.
Yeah, and they were saying he's 22. He just doesn't have the life experience. He's just like, it just doesn't make any sense if you go and watch it. You're like, what? This kid won?
I know.
And so you compare the performances, the entire competition. Jay Taj, second place guy, was so consistent the entire time. He was the best in every single challenge that he participated in. Every single one. It was shocking when Lotto was like, and the winner is Dre TL. And everyone, I think the entire audience there was called by like, because like the confetti comes down and everyone's like, woo! And I think everybody was like, what? Even like the producers that helped make the song, and if they're all like, what? Huh?
I know.
Everybody was so confused.
I think they had a bias towards him because he was young. He had a story. He was from Atlanta. I think they just took...
Joe Taj had a story too.
Well, clearly not to the judge. He didn't like throw it in your face as much as JTL did.
Oh,
Anyway, and I just want to like stop talking, but like we got our Quenny Crons.
no.
I think, well, let me say my last thing. I think it was just more sad because season 1 was so good.
Yeah, this season.
It was 10 out of 10. Season 1 was so fair. Judges were awesome. Amazing rappers. Not like the finale were clearly the best rappers. And season 2 was just so crappy. So
They eliminated some of the best rappers, like, second episode.
No, it was-
like,
it was horrible.
talent was not where it was the first season.
That's why I was so sad.
And, like, I'm just, JTL better be glad that the audience wasn't allowed to vote. Like,
I know.
if you look at their Instagrams, for example, I might be bored now, but I think J Taj, the second place guy, he's almost at, like, 200,000 followers. And JTL yesterday, I think, was at 64,000.
Yeah.
And it was just like the people clearly,
The people
like,
spoke.
they clearly like J Taj way better. But I just keep thinking, man, I hope there's some sort of story or underlining reason that we just don't understand about this entire petition that causes the judges to pick JTL. Because it's just, the clear choice was obviously J Taj. And
It like ruined our night. You were
it literally,
kidding?
I was like, this is literally, I wasted my entire
Life.
no lie. I wasted a lot of time watching this show, expecting J Taj to win because he was the best the whole time. Oh my gosh, like I'm getting worked up again just talking
The
about
fuck
it.
goes to bring it down, talking about something else.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening to our little rant. But now let's get into our topic of what's been happening. So, as you guys, I'm sure know, the American healthcare system
Everyone's probably rolling their eyes like, oh yeah.
is horrible. So that is a universal, everyone across the board, no matter where you lean politically, American healthcare sucks. It's gone worse. It sucks. And the United Healthcare CEO was murdered.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that.
This is not TikTok.
I know, buddy.
Or something that's so funny how people are like, oh, they unalive. Like, it's so weird. I think it's because I'm so used to it now. That's how just people talk on TikTok. So I'm just
I don't understand. That just shows how weird our society is right now. They unalive him. Why didn't you just be normal?
I know.
It makes it seem like you're joking.
But yeah, that's pretty much what all of my TikTok has been, is people's thoughts and feelings about this CEO being shot. And it's obviously it's more of a, it's the bigger conversation than just, oh, a CEO gets shot. Okay. And like, it's way more than that. People are coming forward with their stories about them having United Healthcare in general, people working for United Healthcare, denying claims, this CEO specifically, like so many people are coming forward. And I'm kind of just like, why haven't we been talking about this for way longer? You know what I mean? Like people who work for insurance, like why don't I see more of that? So basically, as far as the facts are, United Healthcare, I guess, like I said, I don't actually know, but this is just what I've been seeing. They're over Medicaid, Medicare, like all of those like government funding. Anyway, so United Healthcare, they denied in this year 33% of claims, when the average other healthcare systems deny like 15% of claims. So they have more than doubled what the normal average other healthcares have claimed. So they are intentionally denying claims for healthcare. And I'm assuming, I think this is just what other people like assume. I don't know. Maybe the higher ups like get bonuses or something, since there's so much extra like money because they denied it, that it goes into their pockets. I have no clue. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it was because his income was literally insane. I think it was like 50 million.
A year?
Yeah.
Or is he was worth that much?
I don't know. I think his income, I'll double check, but I think it was like $50 million, which is an insane salary. Insane. You can talk now.
I'm just looking it up. I mean, while she's doing that, it was sad, first of all, to hear all of these stories that people are coming out and talking about. There's one in particular.
Oh, it was only $10 million.
That's what his salary was.
Still massive.
It was 50.
Maybe
10 million, yeah, it's still
man's worth around 50 million.
Yeah, maybe. That is a massive salary for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe like maybe he gets more for like, I don't know, bonuses or denying things. Like,
Yeah, I forgot. Keep going.
that was it.
Oh. So first of all, my opinion on all of this stuff, because there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, this is like, I don't like saying, glad he died, but like, kind of glad he died because now we're talking about a lot of people are basically saying that. And one guy in particular was like, this assassin guy he's an American hero, so on and so forth. And oh my goodness, your point too, we should have been talking about this a long time ago. I think that part is right. And it is really sad that this is what it took for people to start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows. So it's hard for me because I choose to live in a world where I see the good and the abundance and everything else that is great with humanity. I'm not blind to the fact that there's a lot of corruption and greed and stuff and bad things going on. But the kind of life that I want to create for myself is abundant and is giving and all those good things. So let's look. Yes. Thank you. But it's just so sad for me, at least, just because it's just really pointing out how much corruption and greed that there really is in this world. And I don't know the CEO's full story. I mean, he might have actually been trying to do something, but like, I it's hard for me to say, oh yeah, he was a bad person, he was this, he was that, because I never knew the guy. All that you have to go off of is that he was just the CEO of this company that was doing not great things. And like with these massive companies, there's a lot of people involved in running it. Yes, they have a CEO, but like there's like in the majority of the time, from what I understand, there's an entire board of directors that you have to run decisions through. And so it's not just this one guy that is so bad that he's causing all of these big problems. And oftentimes, the way that these big companies work is the CEO doesn't. I mean, I'm sure he knows. I mean, I'm pretending like I know a lot about this kind of stuff. I don't. I just know a little bit about.
Here's my opinion. Because when I first found out, I was like, oh, dang, like, but what if he had nothing to do with what's going on? Because in my head, I'm like, do the CEOs even like, no, they don't work like everyday people. So that's
Well, that's all.
so that feels
They're
like
not involved in your day to days. They're
not
just like signing things.
Yeah, so but then I go back and I was like, you know what? Actually, no. If you're the CEO of a company, you need to know what's going on. Like I don't know if he did know what's going on. I'm sure he did. That's my opinion. But you should know how your company is running. Like it really irritates me how, like, even in smaller companies, like if the boss doesn't know what's going on, but the managers do, if that makes sense. Like you hire managers who pretty much run the company and the guy at the top is just the guy at the top. He has literally no clue. He just goes about his day. That annoys me. It's just like, you're the one who's making the most money. This is your company. Why don't you know what's going on? That is 100% your fault. And that annoys me about companies.
So my, I guess, rebuttal to what it is that you're saying if you would want to call it a rebuttal. Look up how many people or how many employees are underneath the United Healthcare
Okay.
umbrella.
Why? Why would you like to know?
Because when I think about the number, you're talking about all smaller companies versus bigger companies, and it's like these massive companies like this are run completely different, and we have like literally no clue on how it's all structured. Did you get an answer?
Yeah, a lot.
On the
Over 400,000 employees worldwide. And so the breakdown of their employees include 151,000 clinical professionals, 50,000 customer-facing professionals, and 37,000 technology professionals.
So, like, with a company that size, how can you expect one man to really understand everything that's going on? Like, that just seems impossible to me. Yeah, with a company of that scale.
Yes.
Like, when it's a company that's like
He doesn't
100
know
people or less than 1,000 people, I can understand as far as like, hey, I can have more of a pulse on kind of what's happening around, but like managers coming to me, talking to me and stuff like that. Over how many people again?
Over 400,000. Like I get what you're saying, but but he knows what the base. He doesn't know every single case, every single claim that's coming in. He doesn't. You can't. But he knows the numbers like we do. He knows that they deny claims the most. People who on TikTok who have come out and said, I was in insurance for United Healthcare. I was a customer service, and how they are taught and told to deny claims and tell them that this is the only medication you can get when that's absolutely not true. There's cheaper versions that they don't recommend. And how people like just healthcare in general is supposed to be annoying and confusing. That's how it is. What's the word I'm looking for? That's how it's created. That's how they want it to be. They want to make it confusing and hard to get the most money out of you. That's just how it works with healthcare. And I think the reason why it's a bigger conversation is because, this is just my opinion, we don't know all the facts yet, but my opinion is whoever shot him, something must have happened to him with maybe his child or something, of like getting denied care, and he was just like, screw this, and then he got pushed his limit and he shot the CEO. Like that, I mean, that sounds crazy, but people do crazy things for their loved ones. It's just like people are making jokes online like, oh, the Netflix CEO needs to watch out because you can't like share a password in different households now. Like they're purposefully being money hungry, you know? But at the end of the day, it's Netflix. It's not that deep. Healthcare is that deep. People are dying. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the password thing.
Yeah.
It's just because I work at a SaaS company, there's just a lot of pricing structures that SaaS companies, which Netflix is a SaaS company.
What is a SaaS company?
Software as a service.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, now that I kind of understand how pricing works in that world, there's a specific reason why they're structuring it that way. It's not just a big part of it is to get more money, guess. That's what every business wants to do, is get more revenue, get more money.
Yeah, and who has to suffer? Can't share the same password.
How long was he the CEO for? I'm just saying. I
No idea.
I just don't want to say anything. What am I trying to say here? So
I don't know.
let's just more the
You're trying to protect yourself.
Me, I guess I am, but I don't want to like.
We're just making assumptions of just
I
random.
mean, that's like I'm having trouble is because it's just assumptions at this point. It's not.
Well,
this is really the facts. This is really.
Well, yeah,
like, but
we're listening. They're just hearing our opinions. We're not. This is just our opinions of things that we think are happening. It's a bigger conversation just in healthcare in general, which is actually happening.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on than just like the CEO.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Is people are just now being like, it's so true. It's so horrible what they do to these people and these patients, and it's
But I don't want to I wouldn't go as far as putting the blame on just the CEO, like not even close.
I know, but he is the guy
But like how
that you go for.
when you have no idea how he worked out to that point though. Like you come in as a CEO of this conglomerate, whatever that word is for, right? The word that is used to describe just a massive business. Conglomerate. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Or
Anyways, you come in as the CEO of this massive thing, and there's all these structured things in place. He probably had probably had no say in how they train their customer service reps or how they do this. He probably came in and they already had all these systems in place.
I don't know.
And maybe based off of
If you
maybe if you looked at the analytics and stuff of how many claims they denied in years past versus kind of the one that we were referring to about how it's double versus everyone else, maybe when he was brought in, maybe that's when it started to double. Maybe that is the case. I have no idea. But if that is the case, then that sucks. And the thing that I go back to that I told you about the other days too is, in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we talk a lot about the Book of Mormon, which is another scripture book. That's kind of like, it's similar to the Bible.
okay,
And in that book that we are taught to read in this church, there's a story of Nephi where God tells him to chop off the head of this guy named Laban, who was this wicked king of this land. And God basically says it's worth to take one life and saving a lot of other. Like it was basically, so God told Nephi to chop the guy's head off.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of something else I think about too. It's like, what if this guy felt like he needed to do something? Like, what if he really was a big part of why a lot of these bad things were happening? If that's the case, and that's really sad, and it sounds like if that is the case, then he probably got what was coming.
That's what people are saying is if you do devilish things, you play devilish games, you win devilish prizes.
But I think the part that I don't want to just put assumptions on is that he was the devilish one, because we don't know that.
Yes, of course, we don't know, but
It's a massive company and a lot of things.
if he was, then like people, like this one TikTok in particular, which was the most intense, and people were in the comments were like, thank you for being honest, because it was very honest.
And I was like, you're a hero?
Yes, he was a nurse, and he said he was in his scrubs. He had his mask on. He was like, I've been a nurse for 31 years. He was an older guy. And he said that he's just seen over the years of how greedy and horrible healthcare has gotten. And he says that we all clapped and we cheered when Osama bin Laden was killed because he was a horrible man, a terrorist. He killed so many people. But we're not clapping and cheering when the CEO of United Healthcare was killed when I'm not saying he killed people, but because
That's what he was saying in the video.
but yeah, he was saying that assumption what he was saying. So I am clapping and cheering, and I think whoever shot him was an American hero because the CEO of United Healthcare killed people. Just in a different kind of way. But unfortunately, with healthcare, that is the repercussions for denying claims, is people die. Like, it's unfortunate. And healthcare is, I really don't know how every country except for America has free healthcare. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how these doctors, do they have insurance? Like, how are people getting paid in the medical industry if everything is just free? I just don't understand. And then in America, I don't understand how everything is astronomical. Like, if I wanted an ambulance, forget about it. That's like my whole entire salary. Like, I don't
we're
get it.
And we're looking at health insurance going into this next year.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Orson does it. He's never gotten insurance with his work because he's always pretty much been self-employed.
When I was at like my 9 to 5, I had insurance,
That's true.
but that was the last one, like few
But
years.
doesn't it get like taken out of your paycheck? So like you still have to like pay in some way. I don't really.
No, I think the business pays for it at that point.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, my work doesn't have that.
If they do a 401k, then humans pull out of your paycheck and they'll match. But I think the standard is they, as an employee, that's one of the benefits. Like that's why people like those jobs, because you get benefits.
That's true. That's true. And I remember that. Yeah, when you did work at a regular 9 to 5 for 3 years, you did have like healthcare and it was good. It was nice.
Well, it was nice.
But since he's
Pause.
Oh.
Yes.
restart these, it says hard. Well, it's been says hard an hour, so you need to like wrap it up. Ugh, I'm so sad.
Okay, so go into your thought now.
So yes, since Orson has been self-employed for a long time, we just got in healthcare through the marketplace. You just kind of pick your own, and it's based off of your income. But then again, that makes no sense because we don't make that much money. And then they're saying how it should be like $500 for a family of 3 every single month, and I'm just like, huh?
It was core for the safe.
How does that make sense? Yeah, it was cool for the $600. Like, excuse me. So we just had to pick a cheaper, way less good. That's a whole program.
Oh, when I based off
Healthcare.
of the guy that's helping us, he was saying that this one that we pick is way better than the one that I said. Like the
just
pricey
doesn't make sense.
yeah, there's a lot of it
It's so stupid.
It just seems so complicated, and it's just like, why does it have to be so complicated with deductibles and this and that?
Because they want you to be confused and just pick one to be done with it. Because that's what we did. We just picked one to be done with it, even though it's probably horrible. Even though they say it's good.
The hard part is it's like we all want to live, we don't want to die, so it's like we need health insurance, and if you don't have health insurance too, the taxes they charge you for not having health insurance.
Yes.
And it's
So dumb.
there's so many different things. It's like, why is it like this?
I don't know, and I freaking hate it. Like I said, when we said in the beginning of the episode that a lot of our debt, I use in quotes because some people don't consider medical bills debt, but
I do.
I know. And yeah, because I had a baby and I stayed in the hospital, and Scarlett stayed in the hospital, and she had she had to be on a CPAP machine for like 30 minutes, like, and that racked up the bill. Like, it's just really stupid. Especially because in other countries, they're just like, I just have my baby and I just go about my day. Prenatal care you have to pay for. Ultrasounds you have to pay for. Like, everything is just an astronomical price. And I just don't know why. But then again, we're paying astronomical prices every single month for health insurance, but you still get these bills that are still thousands of dollars. Like this girl who I love on YouTube and on TikTok, her name is Saray. She had a TikTok that went viral, had like 40 million views of, she just broke down like her cost. She was like, how much does it cost in America to have a baby? For her, she got induced. Like, hers was pretty medical. Like, she had a lot of things that they did. It was about, I think, like $40,000, or maybe it was 140,000. I don't know. It was a crazy number. She ended up only having to pay $2,000. But people,
For insurance?
yes, because of her insurance. But people in the comments were like, what do you mean you only had to pay $2,000? That's still a lot of money to have a baby when I have a baby for free and I don't have insurance. Like, yeah, she only had to pay $2,000 instead of $40,000 or whatever the number was, but she probably pays a hefty price, especially because she's a big YouTuber. She makes a lot of money. Like, I'm sure her insurance every month is a lot of money. So it's kind of like, but you're still paying a lot. It's so annoying. I hate it so much. And after this happened to the CEO, I don't know if things are going to change as far as prices or just how things work in the medical healthcare insurance industry. But I don't think I doubt that 2025, their denying claims is going to be 30-something%.
If any change is going to happen, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of divide, and I talked about this with the political side of things too. Just the amount of divide that is in this country is sad. Like, why can't we just all get along and just want the best for other people and just try to help everyone live their own version of a dream life?
Because that's not how certain people make money.
We're out here trying to do our best. Like, why?
It's because people only think about themselves. Like Orson just has a hard time wrapping his head around someone who is greedy and money hungry, doesn't care about people, only themselves and their paycheck. Like, he just can't wrap his mind around that. So
I know, I can wrap my head around it. I get that there's people out there, but it's just like, why?
yeah, I look in, you know what? So I can wrap my head around that, and I know why. It's because of $10 million. Point blank. Period. That's it.
Oh, like, that's not happiness.
Yeah,
That's not.
I know. And he's
Like, the definition of success is different for everybody, but like, well, our being on this earth, I don't know. It's all up to.
I mean, I never had $10 million, so maybe if I had $10 million, I wouldn't care about the decisions I make from making that. I don't know.
No,
Because it seems like a lot of people who are rich and who are like rich, they
well, the difference though is
aren't like rappers, singers, basketball, like people who are rich for like businessy reasons. I say this and Orson gets so mad at me, but I'm like, you have to be a little bit shady to get to the top. You just do.
well, and the top was different for everybody. Like,
Financially.
well, in life and like definition of top or success. I'm gonna replace the word top with success. It means different. It's different definition for everybody. But this type of success that I'm gonna try to get is very top up there, and eventually we'll have that kind of money, but we'll have gotten it in such a way that is actually meaningful and brings other people along and tries to help them achieve it for themselves too. And it's like, that's the part where I'm just like, why can't we all just be more like that? And just like help each other and love one another, treat others the way that you want to be treated. That phrase was plastered right on my elementary school wall right when you walk in the door. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
I think it's because of this, at least this healthcare guy. I think he got more money the more claims he denied. That has to be it.
But
And so he purposefully did that for himself.
and if that's the case, like what? Like, why can't we just try to have more compassion and understanding for the people that we are in business with?
What do you mean?
Like, he's denying these claims, and like, what if he went and lived some of their life? Like, there's no understanding of the real impact that some of these tech companies are having.
Care because of money. Like, I don't know why.
And it's sad that money has such a chokehold on everybody, because money is like the no, it's not. But I was gonna say it's the root of all evil, but I don't believe that.
Oh, the root of all evil.
A lot of people look at money in that way. But it can be the cause of a lot of bad things. Like, Satan uses money to control and to get people to do nasty things and stuff like that. And it's just, it's sad. Like, I'm sad that this man passed away. And
Now, it's also like sad how it happened too. It was literally 7 a.m. Like, who wants to die us that early? Not me. I know. Who wants to start your day off?
you know what's even crazier too, and I think we talked about this before, just they're already looking, they're like next day they're looking for a new CEO. Like life just keeps moving on.
I know.
Like, this big business is going to keep doing business as normal. But just now everyone's just more talking about it online, and hopefully that causes some change as far as who they bring on next, or maybe the next person that comes on thinks a little bit differently.
It'd be scary to be that CEO. I would not want to have that job.
But yeah,
If they said, Lindsay, you'll make $15 million a year, do you want to be the... No, thank you. I'm good.
I'd do it.
You would?
Yeah.
Because you'll make an impact. But like, if you only... But then they portray like, you can make $15 million denying 30% of claims, or you can make $2 million by denying little claims.
Still gonna make an impact and actually help people. Like, a big reason to why we're gonna have a lot of money is because we'll do good with it. We would. And if I was in a position like that, I know I would do good with it.
We're different people. Just kidding. I hope majority of the people would be like us. It's just, I think that people who are in those positions are mean. I think you have to be in those crazy businessy type of, I think you have to be cutthroat.
I'm sure, like, I don't understand fully the whole Wall Street, New York business side of things, and just from movies that I've seen, it is pretty intense.
Movies? Yes. Wolf of Wall Street.
I mean, I know that's a movie, probably really dramatized, but...
Oh, hey, he's a real guy. He talks about how it was like for real.
No, I know, but I don't, I'm sure there was some things that were dramatized, but again, I mean, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just, that's a sad ordeal altogether, as far as, like, this man passing away, and the fact that it took this for people to actually speak up and start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's so sad. I was gonna say something when you said like life goes on. Oh, people are also saying to like when people like work so hard to the bone like at their job and they just want to like do the best, but really you just have to think when you think about it, like if I died, like they wouldn't, they have to, they move on. They don't care about me that much. So just live your life to just really live an authentic life. Like if you want to take the day off, take the day off. It's not going to kill you. Huh? Get it? Like, I didn't do that on purpose. It wasn't funny. But anyway, yeah, it's very sad and it's a hard topic, hard conversation, especially because me and Orson are going through it now with like paying health cares, and we finally did, but we did because we were tired of it, you know. It sucks, especially because I don't have I mean, knock on wood, but like my whole life, I'm 25. I never even broken a bone. Like I never had anything medically hinder my life at all. I mean, of course, I don't think anybody lives scot-free from that. But so it's, I mean, I maybe will break a bone once in my life. You know, something will happen to me where I would need medical care. You need medical care because you have Crohn's disease, and colonoscopies are expensive, and it sucks. Like when you had health insurance with your work, or your colonoscopy is like free, because you had a bunch. I remember when you worked there, you had more than the average Joe.
Well, I think a big part of it, though, was because I went to the hospital. I met my deductible, which, because I met the deductible, then I paid out of pocket what I was, the most I was going to.
Right.
Or I think one colonoscopy, I don't remember exactly. But I mean, when we got married, I had debt with hospital stuff.
Yeah, you did.
It paid off.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't 15 grand worth, but
It was like $3,000.
it was a lot for
Yeah, not a lot. That's still a lot. That would be a lot for us now. So if you were to like
this plan, we would just pay on in a month. And
anyway, so sad, but it's something to think about, that's for sure. But I don't really know how to end this, but we need to, because Scarlett is about to wake up soon, because we're, for the first time, recording when she's napping instead of when she's already asleep. And I am very hot in this onesie, and I would like to take it off. Oh, screws. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Stay tuned for next episode, because that is when...
That's the episode I'm waiting. I've been like trying to talk about it. Another one, you're like, no, stop.
I wasn't ready, and I wanted to wait for the holidays because that's when it just like hits home for like me. So anyway, thank you guys so much.
We love you all. This is episode number 14, and
Oh my God.
getting close to 20. We are committed to this, you guys. We are committed.
So fun. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. Bye.